Dragon Ball. What is there that hasn't already been said? A cultural milestone, a story that changed the world through Toriyama's hard work. I was fortunate enough to grow up with every series before Kai without spoilers back in 2012. The fantastic action, the dynamic plot, and inspiring characters that helped us to become better, even if most of them got left behind, or forgotten, or worse, memification out of relevancy. Seriously guys, do some of you even remember the point of this scene? To not fall into the same trap as other fans, I took the initiative to do something that no Dragon Ball fan has ever done. Read. I've just finished Dragon Ball, so my spot in heaven is secure. You have experienced the original Dragon Ball, right? Frankly, it has been a decade since I watched Z, so I feel like I shouldn't commentate before finishing the manga. I can talk about Dragon Ball movies' weird relevance. Oh yeah, the bite-sized versions of the stuff we were getting from the ongoing narrative. But I'm here to talk about something unique that other franchises just don't have. Why do the Dragon Ball movies stick around with the franchise and community for so long? From what I've seen, most other shows advertise their movies with a game appearance and merch, and then just forget about it. Like Naruto or maybe One Piece. I can't say a single thing about the Naruto movies, but most Z villains continues to show up to this day. You see them in fan content like comics and videos, all forms of games, and even merch. I can probably even throw in GT in this conversation, since they do get brought back every now and again. You can see this most when a movie character is announced for a fighting game when manga characters haven't been added yet. And in an age where more fans are focusing on the manga for the word of God, video content for the movies is usually about how they don't fit into canon, or powers. Sorry, I don't do that here. So I want to say some reasons or theories for why they stuck around, since it's a pretty strange part of Dragon Ball, but these are just off-the-cuff theories. I don't know the community that well, nor was around during the 2000s, and to be honest, I've only recently come out of my 9-year Dragon Ball Dark Age, so I'm just like super excited to talk about Dragon Ball again. My first reason is Toei, adapting for more. Toei Animation's filler gets a pretty bad rap for extending battles and adding content that wasn't in the manga, but for our purposes, we'll be looking at it from a different angle. Think back to when we were more used to long-running series, or for some of you, remember One Piece last week? Dragon Ball movies were that perfect bite-sized snack, the frozen food to the series' home-cooked meal. Helps that the movie would star a new big bad with a small adventure on the side, but my big point is that Toei did try to connect it to the series in small ways. Movies lightly continuing off each other and are relevant to the most recent events from the series, like Garlic Jr. wanting revenge on Kami and Cooler revenge for slaying Frieza. Plot elements that went into the series like Garlic Jr. Return Saga, and Icarus' spotty on and off appearances. Gotenks even got to meet him. And look! Toritaro even drew Icarus for superheroes. If I remember correctly, they even used the Lookout's basement to purify the Earth in the Garlic Jr. saga and the Baby saga from GT. I'm going to add GT since Toei made it and I like it. They kept this trend going for GT by throwing in movie villains in the background, also slightly suggesting events and using abilities from the films. The Tuffle race came from an anime-only scene back in Z that Toriyama thought up. It really is the Toei DBZ continuation. So if you grew up with Dragon Ball Z, GT, and the movies, Toei did make something unique to loosely tie the Dragon World lightly together. As someone who has watched everything before seeing Kai, I've always just thought it was one big world. Like, obviously Frieza has a brother, Bojack was trapped inside King Kai's planet, there's an evil Goku wandering space. Toei Animation invited the audience to think past the series to a bigger world by adding characters from far off through their expanded content. It sure did make space feel bigger than two powerful guys, but look at me appreciating this weird outcome. But I assume others thought this way of Toei's Dragon Ball adaptation, so in our minds, they had a place and a world they belonged to, even if they didn't fit into the timeline of the series. And so what you're thinking, Toei made some connections from series to movies for other franchises like One Piece. And that's true. My last One Piece episode was after Fishman Island, to tie into a movie, but this pet planted the seed for the next reason they stuck around. My second reason is video games. A better sequel. Video games. We all played them and went through the story of Z at least once through them. Personally, I have memories of playing hundreds of local matches of Rage and Blast 2 with my brothers. And I think a lot of the movie characters' staying power came from how long Dragon Ball was off the air. Dragon Ball Z was running from 1989 to 96. After that, the game companies wouldn't be able to sell you one part of a greater story without seeming cheap. A game studio makes a game that tells the Z story, but misses a few minor characters. But if you make a sequel, who do you add? The missing characters like Kiwi, Shokovich, Pri? Would you be excited if only those were added? So they throw in movie villains to pad the roster out and add their stories. This is reflected in the opening cinematics usually, and now a generation of players are more familiar than ever with them. Weirdly enough, they were doing it while the series was going on with Garlic Jr. and Cooler in the first and third NES card game. Weird how much I brought up Garlic Jr. in this video. Dragon Ball FighterZ just skipped over a lot of Z villains so they could add more movie ones. Interesting to see Raditz, Zaban, Dodoria, 1920, and Dabura are passed up to add movie fellas. I guess those guys don't get the people in the seats. Unlike Z Broly, a fan favorite who stars in 2 movies, only 2. He usually gets added before Z series characters, and with special treatment like a What If Super Saiyan 3 in Raging Blast. He even appears in games where he doesn't belong. What is he even doing in Attack of the Saiyans for DS? Also, Dragon Ball Z Boo's Fury added in Broly's Second Coming and Fusion Reburn's storyline during the events of the Boo Saga. So anyway, I got a feeling some of you played a movie character because they had a menacing aura and unstoppable might. You mained him and started to get attached to them. You probably even learned their skills in Xenoverse, under the guise of being more original, but in reality, to get closer, oh my god, it's Turles! He's so sugoi! Desu!
What are you babbling about? Don't get in my way. Just get out of here!
Give me that fruit.
I saw that. I think it's time to do away with this ice. This is the end!
You know what? I would have probably had more fondness for the big characters than the GT crew if I played Budokai Tenkaichi. But at least my game only had one Goku. And that's the end. Those are my 2 reasons why they stuck around, unless I'm missing something obvious. Probably the only real reason is that they're just cool. So even though they are simple with only a little amount of screen time, they still stuck around with people. Either from games, fan comics, or to have the limelight by starring in a YouTube video What If Villain Turns Good. So even if they never come back in an official capacity, like Broly, don't worry, they'll be around. If my views on the series resonated with you, and you want to see more movies and GT characters in an animation, I would recommend watching the commercials for Dragon Ball Heroes. They are the sour cream onion chips in my food metaphor. There are hundreds of them, each a minute long, showing an original player character helping the Dragon Team fight scenarios, mixing, matching, and crossing over villains from every saga. It's also where you see characters with transformations that they haven't achieved in the series. It's goofy fun. If this clip doesn't make you crack a smile... the rest of the series wouldn't do much for you. There is a Super Dragon Ball Heroes anime, but I haven't seen much of it. Golden Cooler is in it, and Blue fights Super Saiyan 4 with more original characters. I'll assume it's the Hot Pocket in my food metaphor. And that's all. You can probably see the movies make their way into the next video game. Wait. Sparking Zero has no Dragon Ball Z movie characters? Not even Z-Broly? No GT? Dragon Ball? Not even superhero-based game? Oh man, they are going to sell this back to us as DLC like Xenoverse 2. Ugh. It'll be fine. I'll buy the ones I want and wait for a discount for the rest. We're still good. It's still super cool that we are getting another game. Can't wait to verse my brother. One empty stage for split screen. Ah, God. I hope modders can work around this. Thank you for getting to the end. I usually try to put all my effort in my videos. My editing and writing style takes a while, so a like and a subscribe would be very appreciated. I also do art that you can follow. I'm right now in a Dragon Ball mood, so my next couple of projects will probably relate to it. The speed paint in the background was originally for a video talking about Vegeta's outfit change from Z to GT, but then I learned one thing and another thing, then looked deeper into the character's personality, then I cancelled it. The piece is called Vegeta's Lament, reflecting on his past actions, a life filled with the suffering of others that he must confront. I hope everyone has a nice day. Talk to you soon.